Leave you alone.
Good afternoon.
Speak up.
Good afternoon, everyone. We come to you this afternoon and we want to talk and enlighten you about the roles and the plus factors of online dating. Seems as though many of us have social media nowadays, and whether we want the exposure from some people or not, they inbox us and they let us know, hey girl, you look good. Oh, you looking fine. Hey boy, you looking good. Can I holler at you? And sometimes you do it. I'm just saying, sometimes it's warranted and sometimes it's not warranted. So we're gonna talk about, if it's warranted, when it's warranted, why it's warranted, if it's not warranted, how you combat it, if you accept inboxes and choose to pursue an online date per se or not. But that's just what we are here to talk about today, because some people are conflicted in their thoughts about online dating because they're skeptical. Sometimes we think people are sociopaths or, we don't trust them. But we have to keep in mind that we live in a different day and age than we lived in 20 years ago. We live in a day and age where society lives by social media. So with that being said, feel free to chime in, ladies.
And before we get started, let's just talk about our Facebook groups. Love You More, yes. Sisters Inspiring Sisters, my YouTube channel, Miranda Heart to Heart. So check us out there.
And our first disclaimer is always, and just so that we are noted on it, we are not therapists, we are not licensed, but we are here to talk about
real life issues.
Real people.
Real situation.
That's it.
There we go. All right, let's kick off. I am Katasha. We all know that. Go ahead.
I am Alika.
I'm Miranda.
I'm William.
I'm Kay.
Y'all see some new faces, don't y'all?
I know we gotta keep y'all
Let's go get this conversation.
What we wanted to do was
started.
bring Kay aboard today, impromptu, because she is she's a 20-year-old, she's a 21-year-old, and she's of the millennial age, and she can offer some insight to how the kids think on social media and everything. So that's why we brought her aboard today.
Yes. And Will is here.
We have a man's perspective.
All right, so we're gonna kick this off. Let's really talk social media dating now, because it almost seems like it's a microwave type thing. It seems like men don't want to approach women in the community anymore. They just don't want to have face-to-face conversations initially. And that's kind of bothers me, being a woman, that I feel like if you can approach me on social media, you can for sure approach me in a grocery store. or pump my gas. I mean,
that's right.
Open the door as you're going to the gas station.
Something. And that's kind of, that's irritating to a woman, because chivalry is not dead.
So you want to see a man, do something old-fashioned.
Absolutely.
Like open your door, close your door, come up to me and talk
that's
to
a
me.
must.
And
You ain't
have a
opening doors
conversation.
and closing doors. Don't ever. I do door openers and closers. Don't do that. Okay.
Let's take notes, Phil.
So what you think about that?
Well, I think the whole situation plays into each other. I mean, people have gotten used to DMing people, so it becomes habit when you can sit there and DM 10, 20 people back to back and start
direct messaging. Correct.
Yeah, or inbox. You can literally, it's a numbers game, and that's the thing that a lot of, I wouldn't say women, but people don't understand it. The reason why social media is more looked at towards dating nowadays is because it's a numbers game. You can effectively touch and more people in a short period of time as to when you are out in public, running into people at the grocery store, running into people at the gas station. If I can sit on my phone and direct message or inbox 20 people, get a response, and eventually work myself towards getting a date. Why would I run around the city to trying to do the same thing? So what happens is by nature, you just get used to doing that. If that's a more effective nature, why would I run out here and try the old-fashioned way and keep running around in the,
And get turned down.
Well, you're gonna get turned down anyway, but
necessarily
it's easier.
turned down,
It's easier to get turned down in the group or in a group in a DM because
I do agree.
because they don't say anything. So it's like
And they
okay,
can leave you on red.
it's like okay, let's go to the next person.
My question would be, do you feel like true conversation gets lost from the direct messaging?
I don't think it gets lost. I think it gets misconstrued. You can have a good conversation with somebody if you're actually a good communicator, or far as writing. You know what I mean? But some people aren't, and then some people aren't good readers. Some people can read, things a certain way. Like I've had people every time I'm DMing them, and it's like she's not understanding what I'm saying. So that's where it can get lost. I just think, like I said, it's more of a thing where it's becoming habit. It's not that people don't want to talk in person more. It's just when you get used to DMing people, because actually there are instances where these things take flight and it goes further. So if it's an effective method, you just kind of lose the ability, well not ability, but you lose the desire to go run around and meet people.
Let me ask Kay her perspective, since she is a millennial and this is what they really do, like Snapchat and all this and all that. What is your perspective on it?
So I'm going to say, well, first off, I'm going to start off saying I am lesbian, so I look at things a little bit different.
Right.
Because I kind of agree with him. Well, one thing I am going to say, though, is, and I'm going to kind of flip the script back to you ladies. How do you guys feel about approaching people in their inboxes? If there is a fine man, body, 6-pack, got a nice little beard, because the beards are in, are you guys going to inbox him? And what are you going to say?
Girl, honey. First, you got to make sure that they say they are.
True story.
True.
Okay.
I agree.
True story.
Really, really, really. So, I don't like inbox. I really don't.
I'm not going to inbox out the gate. I may send
because you get dick pics. Because you have some men out there that are just downright just trifling.
If I'm on a dick pic, I just send a message and say, yo, send me a dick pic.
Yeah, but that's judgmental because not every man is going to send a dick pic. Some just going to say, hello, how are you today, beautiful? In response to whatever you said.
And I get that too, but hello, how are you today, beautiful? And you got a wedding ring on your hand. Why?
That's different. That's different. I'm not even responding.
Yeah, see, Will, why you do that?
Why what?
Why-
Rephrase it. No.
He's got a wedding ring on his hand, but hello, good morning, beautiful, how are you?
Because he wants to tell you and his wife that you're both.
Oh, that's some bullshit. First of all, bullshit.
I mean, we know that that's an easy
But why are men like that though?
Yeah, because you are a man. Tell
Because
us.
some men aren't. I have not been married because I know that I have not been ready. Some men get married and they know that they don't need to get married.
Right.
But I don't know
Do you
everybody's
think
story.
that men get married because they want to try to please the woman that they really like?
It's a lot of reasons. Some of them don't want to. They get ultimatums. If you don't marry me, I'm gonna give somebody else some. If you don't marry me, I'm leaving you. You're gonna just shrivel up and die. I mean, it's a lot of reasons why men. But some men are mamas by nature. They can't survive. They don't know how to wash clothes. They don't know how to do this. I mean, it's a lot of reasons. In my life, I've heard men, that get married. Some of them, it's just. But at the end of the day, a lot of men just aren't going to. People, people aren't going to be monogamous. I mean, it's women that cheat.
That's
I
very
mean, I don't know
true.
what-
Very
I don't know why
true.
that-
Very true.
We cannot pinpoint just a man.
Yeah, that ever gets talked about. Women cheat.
First of
We
all,
cheat
we
all the
talk
time.
about
They
women
cheat
cheating all
they
the
cheat
time.
better than me.
But we gonna bring that to the table too, because women do absolutely cheat. But when women cheat, it depends on the caliber of the woman. Now, I'm just gonna tell you the truth. It does. because there's a dissatisfaction there that she's attempted to
Yes.
address several times.
Well, why is there not a why is there not
That
a
was like 20 years
dissatisfaction
No,
that a man
that's
has
still-
tried to address several times? So you know what I'm saying? Like, why is there not?
And it's each his own, because if you're in a relationship, period, and there's something that's not serving the relationship, both should address it. It shouldn't be one person addressing things all the time,
Right.
in a relationship. So, go ahead, Bill, because I see it all.
No, that, I mean, as far as things getting addressed, I mean, I think that's kind of a little, I think as far as what we're saying is with women cheating their wives and all that, I think that's a little old. Now people just cheat because it's with social media. With social media, it just is made it very, you are accessible to a lot, you know, I used to always liken it to when social media first started, it's like walking into a club with 5,000 people. It literally is almost the same thing. It's like you have access. So before social media, you had to remember phone numbers and so many different things.
But don't you
took
think
place.
that? But don't you think that there are men and women that still have the same access to social media, but yet they decide to not do this?
Exactly, it's a decision. That's
a
it's
personal
will.
choice.
It's not
It is a
our
personal
will.
choice.
So if you want to cheat, you're going to cheat, whether it's social media, whether you're in a good relationship or bad relationship. You know,
Yeah,
because things going bad has nothing to do with you cheating. It has to do with you wanting to cheat. And what
accept
happens
that.
is you're accessible. So you're having a bad relationship, things aren't going the way you want, things aren't getting addressed, and then you have the guy who keeps DMing you, who finally you respond to, and he ends up being somebody that you develop maybe a chatting relationship and stretches out to meeting them somewhere. Oh, this person is who they say they are. This person is a decent person, and then they are filling all of those needs and voids that you are missing with the person that you are, and then boom, you know what I mean? It's that simple. That's how you can start.
Well, I
can
do want
accept
to.
that.
I want to piggyback on that because I personally believe people cheat because they're missing something in a relationship, just as you said. So if there is a guy that is being very thirsty in the inbox, and after so long of you not, you know, you've been at work all day, and I'm ready to have sex, and you're not giving me that, I'm gonna go find it somewhere else. So if it happens to be the man in the inbox, and I shoot him a message,
She gonna get it. Okay.
I'm gonna go look at the man in the inbox. I'm gonna have a conversation. What can we take this? I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only female that feels like that, especially for younger girls. If we jump into doing things so quick and we jump into a relationship and it's not what we want, sometimes we're never sexually pleased. And I've been in a situation like that and I was not pleased. So I went to go find others to please me, which ended our relationship. But that's how most relationships do end. Or there becomes conflict within that relationship time frame. You know what I mean?
I can honestly say that sexually pleased is not always, and I know what you're getting at. Sexually pleased within a relationship is not always the problem within the relationship.
It could be financial.
It could be a million and one different things, you know, but a lot of times people put the blame and the focus on you must not be doing something right in the bedroom. That's not true. That's not true.
I mean, would y'all be with somebody that can't please you? Because I know I
First of all,
couldn't.
I'm never gonna be with somebody that can't please. I'm about to go and do something.
I just think the statement of, and everything is so quick with this generation now. Everything is so instant. We want. Nobody knows how to slow down in life.
Right.
Agreed.
And absorb and
Just
just,
take
just
it in.
enjoy one
That's what
another.
Take your time.
And I definitely agree.
So, but then what I have found, and Will, this one is for you. Men in dating now, it always goes to. Always goes to you're dating somebody for a long time, a little while, you're ready to move forward in a relationship. Everything between you all is really good. You do a couple stuff, but then you don't want to label.
Why would I want to label?
Okay.
Oh, why would I want to label?
Okay. I know that's right.
You got women, you got
Why do you want to fuck with that thing? give you
That's
exactly
that's
I
how,
think.
and I've heard that before. But my question is, what does that mean?
He likes his cake and
I
his
mean,
ice cream, too.
He's gonna eat both
no.
of
If
them.
things are like you said, let's go back to what you said. If things are going great, you did, why do you want to mess it up by giving it a label? Now, there's songs that say that, but it's kind of crazy and it's sad, but it's almost like it's the truth. It's like once you do it, it's like it almost, because that's where the other, usually that honeymoon or that period you're talking about comes when you guys are getting to know each other, and then it's like the label thing also comes with, okay, we're labeling this because we're making it known to other people. And then I'm gonna give you a prime example. I get told all the time, well, Will, if you want more women, put yourself in a relationship status with somebody that you know, or find a female to put yourself. Why? Because that's what that brings. So sometimes it ain't a man always saying, hey, I don't want to be in a label this because, I have hoes. It's like, look, you're gonna bring attention to this. Why don't we just keep it where it's at? It's fine.
No, and on social media, okay, yeah, I can see keep it where it's at. But then when you are, because this is, to me, that's a relationship. Okay, if I'm spending my time with you.
Yeah.
It's
Relationships
Well, I have a question for you then. If you just said social media, you're okay with keeping it where it's at. If you,
And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you
okay,
exactly why I said that. Because if you want to pull this person into your intermediate circle, your inner circle first. That's what I would do, is bring this person around those that I know first. And before we go to those outside of this circle. Now, if we're more comfortable being at a status that says single for now, okay, single for now. For now is the thing. But as this thing matures and it grows, something needs to change.
Well, this is what I would tell like a sister or a daughter or something. But if you're at that point and the man don't want to do it, then that's not the right man. Because if he said, if it's that great, he should be like, yeah, let's do it.
Right.
So, but the first opinion was just me giving you just the initial reasons why somebody might not want, or a man might not want to feel like that. I mean, there's a reason why, and it's obvious. But I mean, then the whole relationship thing, I think times have changed, and I put this out there and people never accept it, but when you get outside the continental US, this thing called a relationship doesn't exist. People don't want to understand that, but if you research it, it does. It's something that the United States has, because they want you to get in a relationship and they want you to get married and want you to have bills so you can keep banks running.
Right.
So, they want you to get a house, they want you to get a mortgage, they want you to get car payments, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to understand it, like most other parts of the world, if you're not in a relationship, you're single. If you're not married, you're single. That's something that's here. It's a big thing that's imaginary, because like I tell people, if it's not in the law books and if it's not in the Bible, how you make it exist, how you make a relationship exist. So you spend 5 years with people, you got people here to spend 5 years with people, 10 years with people, 9 years with people, and then they like, I wasted all them years. No, you didn't. You just was in a relationship. Relationships don't really exist.
Right.
It's just something that people do, because you shouldn't date nobody for a long period of time without a commitment. If you get to the point where you feel like it should be something more, and that man is not willing to commit, then that's probably not that man, and you're going to find out in time if he doesn't change his opinion real soon why it's not, something that you should pursue further.
True. I hope y'all caught that, especially all y'all ladies out there, that we've been talking about this conversation about let's not give titles. We just got an answer from a man, clear answer. From his perspective. Now, let's move on to this inbox thing, because I know I've gotten them. Everybody sitting here has gotten these inboxes. First, Will, give us an insight on the male. Why?
Male's perspective of why you get morning inboxes, DMs, etc. Why you get inboxes when you add a man. At the end of the day, it's numbers. It's a numbers game. If I'm out at the gas station, it's probably one chick, if at all, that I might want to approach. If I'm at the grocery store, it might be one chick it's a numbers game. I can sit there on my phone or on my computer and just DM all the girls I think are pretty. Not all of them are going to respond, but somebody may start a
But he said maybe like
conversation.
1 out of 10.
someone may start a conversation and then it may actually go somewhere. It's literally the same principle. And I always say this, why is this such a problem? Because when you meet somebody at Walmart and you start talking, guess what? That person has an Instagram or Facebook. It's no different. It's just a numbers game.
True.
And men, here's the thing. And let me cut you out. Women don't approach men as often because women aren't necessarily big for rejection either. Even more so. So
That's a good point.
men, so
That's a
so
really
men
good
are
point.
supposed to be by nature the aggressor, the pursuer. Why wouldn't I sit there if I have access to social media and I can look at all the pretty pictures and I can just start liking?
But is it a turn off for you when a woman comes on to you?
Hell no, it's not a turn off. She's somebody I think is attractive. No, it's not. And that's what the biggest myth out here. I don't know why that is such the women. Men love a woman, like, especially if it's somebody like, oh shit, I thought you was, or I think you're attractive. It's like, that's excellent.
Well, the real question is, out of you three ladies, how many of you guys would actually go approach a man? Because like you said at the beginning, you were like, I want him to open my door. That's a standard that you have. So would you really approach a man? Would you inbox him?
Have I approached a man?
In public, I would be flirtatious. On social media, I may send a friend request, something like that. I don't know. I would just.
He get them all the time.
I mean, I'll send a friend request and then see what's all on their page, get a feel of how they are, maybe respond to some of their posts, see if that leads to more interaction. In public, I would be a little flirtatious and see if it was, mutual.
So, Alfin Saeed Hassan said he would prefer a face-to-face connection just for everyone he meets online. Everyone that he meets online is in another state and always wants him to travel with him.
Ooh.
Which is something that one of the viewers in our page posed a question this week. Would you travel out of town to go on a date with someone in another state? I would give it a try because you don't know, in my eyes, you don't know what is ahead of you and you don't know what God, the man upstairs, has in store for you. You never know what could come up as a situation.
It's a lot of other factors that come with that. I'm not just gonna hop on a highway and go.
Right.
We have to have some deep type of connection for me to feel like I'm about to book this flight to come see you.
Well, I feel like conversation has to take place.
Yeah, but just not any conversation. Like it has to be a strong connection.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't see a lot of people up in a long distance relationship unless we have like literally been together for a while and then we decide, okay, what step who's gonna move in with who? What state are we moving to? Those are conversations that need to happen. Yeah, still in the dating stage, but where are we going with this? Right. I guess that's the biggest thing. Why are we dating out of town?
What you think?
You know?
I've never done it, so I don't know.
Okay.
It's something I would-
Are we talking about dating or are we talking about, because she went from dating to moving with somebody? What are we talking about?
But what's after that? You have people on a date with somebody.
This is my thing. Like, I don't mind meeting somebody out of state. Now, flying, that's a little bit more. Like, I really have to have interest. But what I do is I will kind of coincide that with hopefully somewhere that's close that I would want to visit. So it wouldn't just be, I'm coming to see you. It's like, oh, I'm coming to see you and Knott's Berry Farm. I'm coming to see you and Epcot. I'm coming to see you and Atlantic City. I'm not going to just come see you. So that way, if it ends up being a failure, then I got something else that I'm there for outside of just coming to see somebody.
So then Earl Evans said a lot of women either have their children or on their phone when in a lot of public settings. He says chivalry is not dead, but are a lot of women necessarily raising their boys to do chivalrous things?
No, they're not. Boys just getting ready to be.
This is true.
They get say it a
They're
little bit
raised
louder.
to be gay.
Say it a little bit
They're
louder.
raised to be gay. Between the media and how these women are babying these boys, that's what they raise them. But for chivalry, you got to understand there's also a movement out here. It's called feminism, right? And the thing I don't understand about that is that most of the people who practice this want some form of chivalry. They want a man to be a man, but then at the same time they're saying, I'm a woman that wants to be like a man. So it's like there's a big mixed signal out there with that. It's like, I'm I'm the man of this house where I live, and ain't no man gonna come in my domain and be a man
Now,
because I'm a feminist. But then it's like I want to be a woman. I want to be loved and nurtured. It's like
let me take it from another perspective. You say these women want to be men,
no,
but do you think
like
like men? Okay, I got you.
men will have the same rights and whatnot. Whatever feminism is
So
about.
what makes you think it's okay for a man to go out here and sleep with 3 different women and a woman can't go out here and sleep with 3 different men? Yet she'll be labeled as a hoe and he'll be labeled as a man.
Because in the Bible, men had
I'm
multiple
scratch
wives.
that right there. Jump that shit in half right there
Men
from
had
what you
multiple
heard.
wives in the
I don't
Bible.
roll like that. I don't give
That's
a fuck.
okay, but
Whatever
I mean,
a man can do, I
it's-
promise you a
it's
woman can do
nature.
10
That's
times
what
better.
Summer Walker
But
said.
You ever
we're not
seen
out here
lions?
hoeing like
You
that.
ever seen
So,
lions or
but I'm
animals?
just saying.
It's nature. Right?
But let's go back to it. You know, men think they can get away with murder, and a woman has to respect what they do and what they say. And this is no, we don't live in that day and age anymore. You think you can go out here and sleep with Sally, Terry, Bobby, and Jean? No, nigga, I'm out here with Jaquan.
So you're saying that's what I mean that's an aspect of it, but that isn't what the whole gamut of feminism
Right.
is about. And that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the whole aspects of where women are saying, hey, I can do it too. I ain't talking about just sexually. I think personally, if you want to do whatever you do sexually, that's on you. If you want to sleep with multiple men, that's fine. I've had women that, if I believe being honest, if you do that, I respect the woman to be
But
like,
do you think
look,
that-
I want to be with 2 guys at once.
But do you
I
think
mean, that's up to you. You know what I mean? I mean, that's literally your choice if that's what you want. But that's a small portion of the feminism. And where I'm getting at with that is, that's where you start talking about the chivalry and all that, because it's like, okay, you want to be treated as equal, then hell, open your own door. Not saying that that's what I'm doing, because I still
But do
open
you think
doors,
that
but
these
that's the
women-
aspect, that's the reality of it.
But-
It's like, huh?
Do you think these women are at that point because, and I hate to say this, and it's a sad situation, there are so many, it doesn't matter if it's African American, Chinese, Latin American, white, Caucasian, or whatever. These women are out here raising these babies alone. And that right there to me brings another aspect of you say the chivalry is not there, but that's that independency that they've had to rely on because those men aren't there. You know what I mean?
It's independency is relied on, and there's a certain part of this, and I'm not going to blame it on feminism. I'm going to say there's a certain aspect of there's a mentality now where I can do it alone. I don't need a man. Like there's this whole thing now, you know, and I shout out to all the women because I think it's great, especially in our city. We got a lot of women who are starting businesses. I mean, they are really prospering, getting their education. That's good, but it brings on a mindset. Well, hell, I financially can take care of myself. I don't need a man. So it gets, you start having this mindset, and then you get a group of, let's say, a group of women like this, and then the huddle talk becomes, yeah, I don't need no nigga shit. I got this, my 401k's pad. I got this, I got my business. All I was just a dick. And then what happens? Then you get this mindset rolling where you don't think you need to. Then holidays roll around, or you sitting up on when New Edition come to town, you ain't got nobody to take you to the concert.
So when doing this shit come in town.
And you like, oh, well, I'm by myself.
Now I hear you, Will. I completely understand, but I think there's a difference between a woman, the feminist movement, and a woman that is independent, that's educated, that has her own, but now wants to invite this man into her life. I think there's a difference in that. It's not saying that I can't take care of myself because I'm financially fit. I can't take care of myself. I have my own. These are my things, but these are things that I want to bring to the table to share with you. And see, what I've found and what I've seen is that there's so many men that are intimidated by that, that they don't want to come into that, and they don't want to share.
You know why? Because men. Okay, here's the natural hierarchy of that. Women date up, men date down.
Oh, come on.
It's not intimidation. It's naturally how it flows. If you don't, you have to pay attention.
A man
What
likes
do you
to
do from that though?
Men date
Men like to see-
down, women date up.
Men
Are
like
you
to
looking
feel
for a
good.
man who's lower than you? Are you lying around like, are you like this like
Absolutely. I don't know builder upper. I don't
Popeyes? You
That's
like,
true.
oh, that dude is Popeyes. Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
exactly what I want. The dude is right there on the dude
That's
is
true.
cooking my chicken. Like, the dude on the register, is that when you walk in a place like that? Or you're looking for a man who might be a little bit more educated, a little
Right.
more
Right.
higher up in his career. That's naturally what I would think most of y'all would look for, right?
Right.
Or even women, right? You know what I'm saying? So, no.
I'm on your
But, so a man date down. It's not. I don't think men are intimidated. They just literally are used to, because the man wants to be a provider, wants to be a protector, and it's like, how am I going to provide somebody who makes twice as much as me? How am I going to protect somebody who's independent? Like you said, in shape, she already feels as if she doesn't need me. So it's like it just poses kind of a mental block. Not that it's there, but for men, it's just a natural
But
hierarchy.
you know,
But is
that's
that
so
something
funny
that
that you
men
said that. Needs doesn't need you. I have married friends who her husband said, you don't necessarily need me. Not financially, you know what I mean? But as far as other physical attributes that they offer one another, they need each other.
Not just physical, mental,
Mental, physical.
companionship.
Right.
It's a lot.
Right.
See, that's the problem with that. We've gotten so materialistic in this world. Everything is like about money. It's not about money. If you need a man in your life because you need somebody to sit here when everybody leaves, you want somebody to sit here and talk to you. You want somebody to sit here to bounce ideas off of.
Right.
You want somebody to go for a walk because it's a nice day. That's where it comes into. But we have made more capacity into about money.
So do you think, as a man, walking into a relationship with a woman that is accomplished, that's solid, right? Is there a way to get past that mental block and say, okay, she may not need me, but she wants me?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'll
yes,
tell you
yes.
an excellent way to do it. Quit telling people what you got going on.
I know that's right.
People
I know that's right.
Can I get a high
People
five?
love to tell people what you got going on. I don't even know if I'm brother out here struggling. Maybe I'm taking one or two classes, or I just nut. Now maybe I just work somewhere and I make $10 an hour, $20 an hour, whatever. And you might make 80, 90, or 100. I don't need to know that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could actually even play it down like sometimes you can say, hey, I'm struggling with a light bill too. Or I'm struggling with this. Don't ask him for nothing, but just say, hey, hey, I'm struggling with this. It gives him an impression that y'all on even keel. You don't have to tell, and that's the big problem. Like I said, this capitalist society we living in. Everybody wants to be, I make close to 6 figures. I make 6 figures. Yada yada yada. And it's like nobody needs to know that. I mean, older people that raised us. That's what they tell people. Don't even know where you work. People don't even know what you. People want to tell you, well, I work here. I make this amount of money. It's like almost a status thing now. When it's nobody's business, and when you date somebody, it shouldn't be their business till way into the relationship. So you running people off, putting that out there because some people can't take it. That's what people have. Even somebody liking you can still be a hater. They can be like, oh, shit. As soon as you tell them that they liked you until you told them you made 6 figures. Now it's like, oh, she thinks you're too good. She made 6 figures. Or they could be an opportunity. It's like, oh, she made 6 figures. I'm about to break her. So it's really it's two-edged sword. So nobody needs to know what you're doing.
Earl Evans says, bingo, bro, to one of your statements that you said earlier. Don't get Earl started. He said, it's not natural for women to give her goods away. When a woman does this consistently, it creates unbalance in her mental and emotional state. Agreed. Yolanda says, no, chivalry is not dead, but it's most definitely fading fast. She also says, the next few statements are from her. She says, no, it's not. If you're not paying all the bills, then why would you think a woman should get her own door? She also says, nowadays, it takes a lot of, if a man is a man and going to be a man, he will do it all the time. So what I have my own things myself. You still need to do chivalry as men.
You know where some of this chivalry stuff literally, like, people have no idea, like, some of this stuff actually started from, like, opening doors. Do you know that doors used to weigh like 100 pounds? And shit like that. Like, car doors used to be made of steel.
So let me ask you a question.
People have no idea like where some of that stuff comes from. It had nothing to do with being a gentleman. It was like a steel door in 1902 weighed
Okay,
130
but what about
pounds.
putting your
What?
coat on the butt? Is that real? No, I'm just I'm bullshitting now.
I mean, I mean,
I'm
yeah,
bullshitting now. I'm
I
not
mean,
serious.
you know, I'm just saying.
Let me ask you a question. Are you opening the door or not?
I'm opening. I open
We
doors.
ain't got enough
But
time.
I don't. You know what I don't do as much as I don't open car doors much because car doors open. You hit the locks now. You like you open it. I might do it on a day, but I've had women. I've actually had women that've been like, "What are you doing?" Like, open. Get in the car. Like, it's not that big a deal anymore. It's not that everybody's not doing it or it's bad or it's good. It's just some people like, man, somebody like, come on, man, just I got it. You know, go get in the car. So it's just a different time. Some women don't need it. It's not like it doesn't make them feel any more or less of a woman if you open their car door. I mean, it's nice. You know, some women are like, I've done it, or I still do it. Like if I'm going Speedway or something, one behind me or something, you know, I hold the door, but she, oh, thank you, that's nice. I haven't had nobody do that in a while. So I mean, it's just about what, you know, which is your preference. But I don't think it's something that's so much that I think that to me that's not chivalry. And truth be told, to me that's like common courtesy. I think chivalry is somebody that's sitting up with you, you're dating them, and you really, you know, y'all having relations, or y'all saying, and somebody saying something like, and she keeps hitting around like my light bill is due, and it's like $70, and chivalry is me. Hey, look, you want me to pay that? To me, that's chivalry. I don't think chivalry is.
If she has to keep hitting around.
Well, sometimes some things can go past you. You can be sitting there watching TV and not paying attention. So, you know, sometimes you tune people
Well, you
out.
need to text her back and tell her you talk to her later then, because you're not paying attention.
Yolanda also says she does agree that a man men usually date down because of form of control. She said most males want to control the dynamics of the relationship. If she makes more or is more accomplished, she isn't taken seriously. She says she's in agreement with him on that part. But whatever you just said a minute ago, she said not true. Stop it.
Not true. What? Not true about what?
Yeah, not true.
Yolanda,
Not
not
true
true
about
about
what, Yolanda?
Not true
Which
about
part is not true? Come back.
I mean, wait a minute, what she said.
Let's talk about men dating down. She agrees that
Right.
men do
The
date
dynamics.
down.
Men
Okay.
control the dynamics.
But it's not about control. It's hierarchy of people. It's how people, if you look at numbers, women date up. What woman wants, what woman's running around looking for, do they got to take, well, some of them do, that they got to take care of. But I mean, it's a natural instinct for a woman to want a man who's more successful, who is more educated. I mean, he's supposed to look up to the man.
Right.
So, and it's a natural hierarchy that a man looks down to a woman. It's not a control. I'm not running around looking for a 6'8" woman. I'm looking for a woman that's below 6'5" because that's what I am. It's a natural hierarchy. It has nothing to do with me controlling her. I'm not gonna get her in my life and be like, come here, shut up. I mean, it's about natural flow of hierarchy and how things go. So I don't think control. That sounds like somebody who's been dealing with control
Earl
issues.
says, bro, you are correct about the dating hierarchy. Yolanda says that foe being heavy. I don't know what that means. Clarify, honey, clarify for us.
So I think from my perspective, and from my dating practices, that you're absolutely right that I do date up.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to date down. I don't want if I want to build, I want to build with somebody.
You want somebody that
I don't want to
sustain
have
what you
to
already
take
have.
care of somebody. Now I am more than willing to cover the man that I'm in a relationship with if and when I have to. But for me to constantly, like you said, the guy working at the restaurant during the cashier, if I have to continuously, that's tiring. That's tiring. That's wearing. And you don't want that. I mean, you want someone in your life that can either match you or exceed you, and that's my preference.
So I have a question. Sorry to cut you off. I have a question because nowadays, and I really speak for me and my generation, I'm in another group, but we just had this conversation. Would you be willing to build with that man that has nothing so you guys can become more of a unit?
But how can you do that? How can you do that? How can you build something?
Well, let me say this. If you guys if he's the perfect man, but his ass work at Popeyes making $9 an hour, are you willing to help him become the man that he needs to be?
No. Wait. I can't help him become the man he needs to be. He has to be able to help himself.
Right.
Okay,
And
so with
sometimes,
that, he's got to be able to be that individual, that go-getter. That's
right.
Now, if he comes to
But let me explain what I mean by as in helping him. Say he needs help with building his credit. Yeah, he's been to 5 different companies that saying they can help him build his credit, but they're all leading him down the wrong path. Would you be willing to step in and help him build his credit?
But why should I have to help you build your credit?
Because everything else about him is perfect besides the things that he needs to get in track, in line.
But the basic conversation would come from, if he's trying to talk to me, I'm listening to the conversation that he's offering. So if his conversation offers me his goals and aspirations that, I really want to go back to school, but I got such and such going on. But in my mind, I know that I already have a degree and I know how to get to the point to where he wants to be. I mean, I'm not saying that I would be that person to be right there and stay with that person, but I'm saying that somebody has the opportunity and is willing to give that person that much. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like somebody
Right.
is.
But just not you.
For me, no.
She not.
And she ain't.
She not.
Not for me.
Excuse me.
Well, the reason I asked is because the conversation in the group went so in that direction, and I personally do agree. I feel like that's why most women in the world are single now, because your standards are too high. You guys think that,
Okay,
oh,
stop.
look, why you drop the phone like that? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. It is
A
because
lot of women are single because the ratio is like 20 something to 5. I
Right.
mean, that's why.
Right.
It's standard. The problem with the standards is a lot of them are really unrealistic and they're selfish and they just don't make a whole lot of sense.
Which goes back to the
I mean,
same topic.
so that's the thing. So here's the thing that's weird to me. As a man, knowing that there's this big gap in far as ratio, how it seems like everybody got somebody that they're dealing with. That's the weird part about it. Everybody got a man or has a man, but there's this
This is true.
it's this
This is
20
true.
something to 1 ratio, which is weird to me. So I'm like, is somebody running around
Like sharing.
busy as hell?
Sharing. I ain't sharing nothing. But
So-
this is true.
So I mean, but I don't think that's keeping women single. I think there's a lot of unrealistic stuff that's outside of the
Women-
numbers. There's a lot of unrealistic as far as just, it's not that they're unrealistic. They're just, you have to, like, I could be like, well, hell, I want everybody to be like Rihanna, right? That's unrealistic. And it's almost the same thing. It's like, I want, women want this, they want that. It's like, okay, well, find this dude. Or like they say, go build him because he ain't running around.
Build him,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? So you got to,
Well, you have
That
you have
goes
have
back to the
some-
point that I said you have to help somebody build to where you want them. Otherwise,
Well,
you're gonna be
my
sick.
guess is that I still
not
don't agree
really.
with that.
You
Not
can't.
necessarily.
Sometimes
I
that
just
building
don't.
stuff
Not
works.
It was you only
That
gave
building
2
stuff
options
back
just
right
now,
here.
though, right now.
You can build somebody and they
And
go
I'm not
like
saying it's not. That I do agree with. It can backfire. He could turn out to be.
But I get what you're saying. You're willing to ride that wave if that person is trying to build something. You're willing to stand by their
Right,
side.
especially if that person has all the qualities that you want out of a man. I don't know. And I'm just, like I said, I was kind of going back to another group conversation I had and reading the comments. I'm like, really? And so that's why I was asking you guys. And I got y'all. I definitely felt the way where y'all.
Yolanda said,
I'll put
Yolanda
on
said
that.
he can be a cashier, but what is his goal? Basically the same thing I said. She said if he's not aiming for management or ownership of the restaurant in Houston, we have a problem.
I know that's
She
why
also
Yolanda.
said, yes, I get what you're saying, Kay. Yes, if he's everything I want or needed, I'd help him if we were married.
Yeah, but y'all gotta have the
Ooh.
same.
you should.
Married is a big thing, Miss Yolanda.
You shouldn't be getting nobody's teeth fixed that y'all dating because you can afford it.
Exactly.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm using an example as credit.
Insurance.
I'm using an example as credit. That's
I'm
more
just saying.
realistically.
I mean,
than
still, you ain't got no business fixing nobody's credit, ain't your husband.
I'm not saying
That's crazy. I mean, but that's the type of stuff people do because it's almost like it's not even for, in most cases, it's not even for the person. It's like, I can do this for you. I would do it for you. You shouldn't
That's
be doing
bad
it. That's
intention. Then you
definitely
shouldn't be
what-
getting married
That's
to that
definitely
person.
called, some you married benefits or something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
but there's people who do stuff like that because it's about them. It's not about the person. It's like, oh, I can do this, so I'm going to do it. I mean, I've seen all this, and sometimes it becomes a control mechanism, or
Right.
something that they throw up in your face, or
Right.
becomes something that.
Let's go back to the online dating thing. Do you think that online dating do we think that online dating is something that is trustworthy? I'm gonna ask my sister because I know how she feels and I know her beliefs and her values. And I want her perspective and I want her point of view on it. So what is your perspective on online dating? How would you feel about it? Would you welcome it? What would be your pros? What would be your cons? What would be something that you'd be leery of?
I don't see anything against online dating. I don't feel like everybody that lives in Indianapolis is meant to marry or be with somebody just because of the place that they live in. So, just limiting yourself to your options to the place of where you live at, to me, that's just limiting yourself. That's not exploring all your options, your possibilities. So I don't see anything wrong with online dating. I think it's just really up to each person's personal preference. Knowing what they bring to the table, what they are expecting, using their gift of discernment, but you got to do that whether you do online dating or meeting someone at the store,
That's right.
You got to get past that mask, or is the person being genuine with you, or they being open, honest with you, but you got to do that whether it's online or if you met them in person. So I don't see anything wrong with online dating. I don't see anything wrong with people meeting through social media. I think my biggest thing is just whether or not it's warranted, whether or not it's mutual, reciprocal, things of that nature.
Basically, respect your space.
Yeah.
Yolanda said she's scared of online dating. She said she ain't build no man up for somebody else to reap benefits.
Okay, I like Yolanda. Yolanda, I like you, girl. I love you.
You shouldn't have to build nobody up. Somebody you date you should see them. I hope you ain't dating them too. Right. If I see you and if something's wrong, let's say you on a bus stop, I would want to see you in 3 to 6 months striving to get a car. You still been asking me for a ride to use my car, and you ain't trying to progress it. I need to move on. That's not something for me to fix.
Right.
But as far as online dating and like this taboo, I'm gonna tell you, this is something that I've noticed. Unfortunately, I think there's this thing called, I don't know if it's called the bubblegum theory, but there's some type of theory they did it with, I think it was the group Backstreet Boys, where they weren't really popular. So the guy, the manager, somebody that had something to do with the group hired a bunch of people to just start following them around everywhere. So where I'm getting at, where I'm going with this is, a lot of this theory, these stuff that goes on with these taboos that I've seen women dealing with social media has to do with just shit that other people are going along with, or they're hearing from other women. Like, he DM'd me, he inboxed me, yada, yada, yada. And at the end of the day, how else are you going to fucking meet people? I mean, if you're online, if I think you're attractive, what am I trying to find you somewhere? So then when I find you can be like you're a stalker? No, I'm going to DM you. It doesn't make sense. And that's really the reason why everybody doesn't. I'm telling you, a lot of the stuff that I rhetoric I hear is banner coming from different women that are like, they're agreeing with it. They sitting around there like, he DM'd me, he inboxed me. So it's like, I'm anti-inbox. So, okay, guess what? Then you hear the story where like, he was fine. I DM'd him. And then we met. And then he's cool. Okay, so it's the same theory, except men do it more often because men are supposed to be the aggressor. So if you're a man and you're sitting up here like, well, I'm not going to try to run out here and meet 10 women in 10 different places and use a half tank of gas and $30 eating out all day if I could sit here and do it in 5 minutes. So why wouldn't I do that? And it doesn't mean, the problem with it is a process of elimination. That's why you talk to the person in the DM and you go through their statuses, look at their page, find out if they're even single. You follow them for a while and then, and see what activities are going on, and then you feel comfortable. You take it to another level and then you meet them somewhere or whatever. Maybe you start a texting conversation and then you progressively, somewhere along the line, if you got any type of sense and have any, understand red flags, you'll find something that you might not like or like about this person that will give you a hint to move forward. But this whole thing with DMing is so, I mean, I've heard that, and I'm like, well, how, and what am I supposed to wait till I see you at a party or a club somewhere and throw my clothes on and try to run and catch you? How else, if somebody's interested in you, are they going to contact you? I mean, and this is the weirdest thing. I've had people that are on my Facebook page that'll be like, you're my Facebook friend. Oh, and then find me on Twitter and be like, okay, let's go out. Like, what the hell is that? What the hell does that got to do with anything? Like, that's the weirdest thing to me. Like, that is so stupid. And there's all these weird, different little rules that keep coming up from, I think, Banner, from people agreeing with other people's dumb. Somebody had a bad situation. She's the leader of this pack, so she's saying it. So, yeah, we're all going to agree with that. So now you go off in your own separate way. Yeah, don't DM me, don't inbox me. And then you still sit up in the house by yourself when somebody who might be a decent person is trying to contact you and start a relationship.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to agree with that. I'm gonna have to that's valid. That's valid.
You know what I always have said? I will say so I'm black and blue in the face. My husband is not in the state of Indiana. I can sit here and say that, and that's not just something that because of social media and this and that. I just honestly feel that in my heart. Like,
I mean, everybody
he's not here.
has an issue with their own city, and that's why you got certain people I found that they like. You meet certain women, like I bet women that live in Cincinnati or live in Columbia. They don't date dudes in Columbia. They don't date dudes in Cincinnati. It's about experiences. So if you've had enough experience, if you heard enough, and then it helps to smile. And unfortunately, us as African Americans, we got this big thing with somebody knew somebody or somebody. It's weird to me. It's stupid because other nationalities don't care. You know what I mean? This weirdest thing that I've ever seen with us. If somebody touched them that we knew, oh my God, they all women for life. And it's like, it ain't for so many of us, but for some reason there's this big taboo of, oh, he dated my cousin. Okay, we dated your cousin. It didn't work out. He's single. Go back to it. But we be, he talked to my friend 15 years ago.
15 years
But
ago.
that's always the banner with the people who date local. It's always like these taboos and stuff that people get wrapped up in that are meaningless and don't mean that. You literally could be passing up your blessing. But I mean, if you want to choose, I like to date outside the state because it gives me somewhere to go sometimes.
That's true.
I mean, if you like somebody within driving distance, or I mean, everybody's supposed to be travelers now. But I mean, if I can drive to you and we develop something, I don't mind, driving every other week or every other weekend.
Lana said, nah, bro, these niggas be lying. They don't put stuff on their page or give you limited viewing stuff. And she said she's feeling me on the fact that her husband is not in Missouri. I get that. Like, I don't know where he's at.
I mean, those people do lie. That's the problem. I can't control it. Niggas lie because everybody isn't raised to be a man. A man will tell you what's up front. I'm tell you, look, we talk, I'm like, you're not my woman.
Yeah.
You can see who you want to see. I see who I want to see. We get to a point where we feel like we need to move forward from that, but that's how it is. The problem is a lot of us have this preconceived conception of when we meet somebody that they ain't talking to nobody. That's the dumbest thing in the world. You meet somebody, and then you like them, and it's like, oh, he better not have nobody. It's all of a sudden we automatically claim this person as our own. And no, they had a life before you met them. They were talking to people before you met them. The problem is people don't want to deal with reality is saying, some people just find it hard to say, nah, you ain't the only person I talked to. I just met you. You know what I mean? Like, no.
My question is, why lie? Just put the
No,
truth
because that's
some people afraid to lose you. I ain't afraid to lose you.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to die.
Seriously, no, but I again, that resonates. I got that, and that's true.
Well, I
Now, hold on, Yolanda, before you go, Kay, Yolanda said, if we close friends or cousins, you better not mess with somebody.
period. Ain't no way.
Hold on. I don't mean somebody that you dated like, you was acknowledgeable of them, but you met somebody, y'all hang out, and all of a sudden, we come around my sister. My sister might say, I used to holler at him back in the day, but I didn't know you and him used to holler back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Is it right or is it wrong? Now, if you wait a minute. If me and Daquan used to date, you used to come over to our house and hang out. 20 years down, you seen us together. 20 years down the road, this ninja is trying to holler at me. You wrong. You wrong. You wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
you're
wrong.
definitely wrong.
You wrong. You wrong on all levels.
I'm telling you,
You're
that's
wrong.
something in African American culture.
That is.
I'm telling you, you get outside of our culture, people don't give a shit. We ain't together. They don't care. Go marry the bride. Go marry the dude. Nobody cares. But it's something we got this thing with insecurity with us in our community where we feel like somebody belongs to us forever. Now, there are bad situations where people are sneaky, not even come behind your back. But there's the thing. I mean, if you dated somebody 10 years ago and you talk to somebody you know 10 years, I mean, literally, it's something that's I'm telling you,
That's
it's in our
loyalty.
community. No, it's something in our community. My whole opinion is you can talk to something. If you break up, if she was that
My
damn
sister
great,
better
I
not
would
talk
marry
to
her.
no man
I would
that I
marry
talked
her,
to
period.
20, 50, 30 years ago. I don't care.
I'm sorry.
You
I'm
can't.
not like that.
Especially if I was in love with that
damn
nigga
great. I
and
mean,
then he broke my heart.
I would
Yeah.
have married. I should have married.
Exactly.
That's my. I should have married.
Exactly. Now,
Period.
and
I should have married.
I can't agree
I don't
with
care
that
what you
because
do.
people
My best friend can marry my ex. Give me like 6 months.
But if I love that man and you come behind me
But
and
then
they
you
still
start
running,
loving this man after 20-some years and you
It
ain't moved on,
happens.
then you have to go get you some therapy because this
all the females in the world,
It's just
out of all the females in the world,
And then the funny thing about you talk about is loyalty and this, that, and third, and then people still creep and do it. It's all this bullshit.
and then you're still disloyal to me, and that's
People
real
know
messed
my
up.
point. People still creep and do it on the low, and you don't ever find out about
But
it.
I got mad respect for one of my friends. Mad respect because when I was done dealing with a person and, you know, that person started digging my girl, they was like, yo. She was like, yo, can I get my pass to holler at your boy?
That's different.
Wait, you're right.
Respectful. That's respect.
That's respect.
No, they
But not to go behind the back.
they funny. She just wanted to make sure it was cool.
They were not
Nah,
ready.
trust
but
me.
you got- nah,
She
trust
said,
me.
no, that's not
If she
right.
came to you like that, she was just like, I just don't want no problems. This is good. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't trying to lose this.
I want to fight no I'm gonna eat this ice cream and enjoy it.
I'm saying, she and I still cool to this day. Like, they're them things. You know what I'm
Thank you,
saying?
baby.
He plays too much. But that's right there. I respect that. I respect that. Thank you for coming to ask me. But if we family, you know, I just can't. I don't know. And maybe that's because you guys are a lot older than me. But in the community now, and I'm gonna speak this for all of my people that's about 20, I'm gonna say 18 to about 30, you cannot do that. That's just so disrespectful. That's like my mama or auntie or uncle. I'm gonna use a male. My uncle trying to go fuck with this girl I've been fucking with for years. We just happened to break up, and he starts messing with her, and you knew me and her was together. That's disrespectful. There's no respect within that, and especially because we're family. Now, if we family and we ain't fuck with each other, and you ain't know I'm messing with this person, cool. Then I can't be mad at you. But you see me with this girl all over Facebook for 4 years. How are you gonna go and talk to her?
Yeah,
That's hurtful.
It
It's
is
more out of hurt.
And then there's just people sometimes just meet and they click. Now, also,
I agree.
what I'm also talking about, and not so much them situations, those are kind of obvious. But I'm talking about like somebody met somebody, and the people literally didn't know. But then you find out afterwards, and then there's this whole I'm like, oh, this is so terrible. It's like, no, they didn't fucking know. You know what I mean? It's like, get over it. That's really more so what I'm talking about.
Well, I have a question. I'm gonna go back to online dating. Not really so more of a question, but more of an input. Just because I know Yolanda said that she doesn't do online dating, but do you guys think that rejection plays a big part on why we do online dating instead of going to approach a man in person or approaching a female? Well, for male is different because you guys gonna approach her anyway, especially if she's fine. But if you see a man and you see him and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna talk to him because you're scared of rejection compared to just being left on red on the inbox. I don't know if you guys kind of get the difference between the two. Do you feel what I'm saying? Because in person, they can be like, nah, I'm cool. I feel you ain't my type. But on the inbox, they can just leave you on red and not say nothing at all. You get what I'm saying?
I got you.
So what's your input on that? And I'm asking for myself now because my biggest fear in life is rejection.
I'm gonna tell anybody,
That's
shoot
why
your
a lot of
shot
women
either way.
And that's exactly. And my last 3 relationships have all been I met online. And that's because we chit chat, we talk, and we get to know each other instead of you looking at me, sitting at a bar, and you're like, oh, she's quiet, she's weird. And I am sort of kind of introvert getting out of that stage. So I won't approach no female. Like, I can be like, oh my gosh, your eyes are so beautiful and try to talk to you. But especially because I'm gay, you might not be gay. You might be like, that's weird. So that's why I was like, I'm asking for myself, but also for Yolanda, who says she doesn't do it because you never know what they have going on online.
Let me interject something. Let me tell you something why. I'm gonna give you a good reason why online dating is good, or DM or inbox. I'm gonna give you from a perspective of a man who talks to women online and offline. I can see you could be single, wanting a man, whatever. Like this happened the other day. Let's say hypothetically, and I didn't actually approach her, but I thought this because I could tell the way she was acting towards me when I just said hello. But let's say you are single, you're available, but like this woman I seen at the gas station, she had on a bandana, she had on some boots, she had on some jeans, she had on like a lumberjack. She literally, you could tell she had a nice physique, but she looked like she was ready to go to work. Wherever she worked might have been somewhere that maybe was an industrial environment or something. She may have been all for it. But because she was looking a certain way, I could tell by the way she was acting for me, she was just like shit, I look crazy. So her demeanor, everything about her was like, no, I'm not ready. But let's say hypothetically she happened to be on my friend list, I'll be like, hey, she at her leisure can respond and say, hello, how are you doing? And then she can go from there. She ain't got to worry about it online how she looks. She ain't got to worry about it's a good time, the timing. It could be, okay, hi, how you doing? And I can sit here and start a conversation with you. So that's where the DMing and the inboxing and stuff plays a positive role, because sometimes it's more, you will be surprised as a man how more often you catch women off guard in public where they like, oh, I'm looking crazy. And you can tell they see you looking and they trying to jump in the next aisle or kind of get away from you. They zigzagging at Walmart because they like, oh shit, I'm looking crazy. And they don't want to talk. And then there's a missed opportunity. It's not even rejection. They just literally aren't at that time ready. You know what I mean? She might be not feeling good, bloated or something, like today is the day. You know what I mean? So it's so many different aspects of it that makes it a positive thing. Like I said, I think the whole why you inbox DM me thing is banter that got carried on, because it actually doesn't make sense. Because if I meet you in Walmart and you got social media, it's the same thing. So I mean, it really doesn't make a lot of sense.
For me, I'm telling you, I want you to meet me when I'm looking I want you to meet me when I'm looking my absolute the fuck craziest. Because you know what? Because when I get ready to do all that, which I don't have to do all that because God made me beautiful regardless. But when I get ready to enhance all that, I want you to get that wow factor. And you're going to be like,
but everybody ain't like that.
You're right.
Yeah, because I'm definitely not like that.
99%
But I am.
at
That is
least
me
a
to a
certain
T.
level.
You can meet me with this hair looking crazy, mat it down, whatever. But know that when you catch the opposite of that wow, you're going to get that wow factor. And be like, oh, okay. So, okay. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
it comes with
I mean,
confidence.
I've seen that. I've dated people that I didn't see look a certain way. Then we finally went out, and it was like, oh my God, like who are you?
Wow. Yeah.
So I mean, there's that. But most women, from a man's perspective, out talking to women, don't want to get caught like that. So like I said, the DMing, the inboxing, it plays a good role sometimes because, like I said, it's at your leisure. I think, like I said, it's the silliest thing. It's banter. It's like you hear it all the time. Wow, he inboxed me, he DM'd. Well, how the hell is he supposed to contact you? How is he supposed to communicate with you? He's supposed to get you. He wait for you to show up and I mean, what? I mean, you know what I mean? Wherever the hell you go and try to run down there and find you. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
So prior to starting our discussion, I had asked another question that piggybacked with that one. Like when you have, you're making these Facebook posts and this, you notice that this one individual is always, it's always this individual. Then why not just shoot your damn shot instead of just doing all this extra. Yeah, why not just
Exactly, and that's the crazy part. That question within itself is like an onion. It's like, so you want this person to DM you, but you don't want a random person to DM you. You gotta pick which lesser evil you want to go with, because the person's doing that because he doesn't want to be that person. So now you're saying, why is
Wait,
he
but what
hardening
you
and
mean? I
liking?
don't understand that.
Why is he hardening and liking everything when he should DM me? But then at the same token, y'all saying don't why do nobody wants to be DM or inbox? It's crazy. It's almost like it's like
Okay,
dudes be like,
so let me just tell the truth. Let's just tell, with all of y'all women out there, let's just tell the damn truth and be honest. You have a type.
exactly.
That is
Nobody
what
knows
it's
that
all
online.
about. Nobody knows that online. And so when somebody DMs you that's not your type, it's like, dude,
Leave him on read.
there
Don't
it is.
complain.
Oh
Don't
my
be
God.
like, just let you ain't
There
able to
it is.
respond to him. You
There
can
it
look through his whole life story, see he's a damn liar, see he's been
That-
whatever.
that's
Move
what
on.
it
You ain't
comes
gotta
down
develop
to.
this hatred for inboxing and DM
That's what
because
it
when the
comes
right
down
one
to.
comes, you gonna take that inbox, you gonna take that DM and take it to the next level.
That's what
Literally
it comes
had
down
one inboxing me this week, and I was, I did my best to keep it professional, keep it polite, keep it calm. I was like, oh yeah, baby girl wouldn't even be happy about this, some. He was like, well, why she gotta know? I was like, you're right, it's okay. I said, besides, I have someone anyway. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I would,
But the point here says, I tried to let you down softly, but I guess you needed it a little bit harder because you still didn't try to get the picture. I quit instant messaging back.
That's when you end the conversation.
right.
It's a
Well,
button
you
on
ain't gotta
Facebook to
respond.
do
If
just
you see
that.
something you don't like, just stop. I mean,
Just
I do
stop.
They can't
I
even
do
hit
it
you
'cause
up when
I
you
actually
never.
get DM more I get DM more from women that I'm not interested in most of the time, 99% of the time. So I just be like, oh, I look through the picture and I'll be like, okay, and I'll be like, oh, you're very handsome, thank you. And then it might be da 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 da. If it's not a question I won't answer, then I just leave it on red and I move on with life. I don't take it as I don't take it personal and start running around talking to people. It's not like a DM me and da, da, da. It's like it ain't that big deal. I got other shit to worry about. I got bills to pay. Who cares? It's like it ain't that big motherfucking deal. I don't want to deal with it.
Now what about, okay, and this one, so you're holding this conversation with this individual, and then you find out that the person that the cover picture is not the actual individual.
Well, how?
And then what
That's
they,
catfishing.
and then what they
That's
say to you, I never told you that this was me.
Oh, they're a catfisher.
Okay, well they had back when there was phone calls and you talked to somebody on the phone and then you found out the person
On the
wasn't talking. I mean,
phone
it's no different. People act like social media is so new.
It's
It's
not,
the
but why-
concepts are
why
the
we
same.
lying? Why we lying? Why
Or
we
just like you
saying
meet a guy in person in public at Walmart and you find out he's married. I mean, it's no
But why
different.
can't-
It's the same
It
thing.
is
It's
the
just
same
social
thing,
media.
but why cannot
People
why
act like
can
social
we
media is
not
supposed to be this. Oh, you're supposed to be so honest.
But why
You
can't
can
we
meet
just
a man,
be-
you meet the finest man who pump your gas at Walmart who's higher level than you, that's educated, that wants to spend time with you. You can find out he's happily married 3 months into it. It don't make a difference. It's the
It
same
doesn't.
thing.
You're right.
It's life.
You're
It's people. People lie. It ain't about DMs. It ain't about inboxes. It's about
I
people.
would like that as a suggestion though. People that do online dating, guys should use a current picture, not a picture that's 10
Like,
years
and
old.
not somebody else's picture.
I understand what Will is
But
saying.
see-
People gonna lie, but
They
at the
gonna
same
do it.
time,
That's why you
you
tell
know,
people that
use
like,
a
send me a
current
picture of
picture.
you holding a fork. Send me you go on. You gotta utilize the technology. FaceTime. Let's
let me see what you look
call me
like
on
right now.
Messenger real quick. That way you find out the person living with somebody. Oh, they can't never message you. That's a red flag. I mean, you gotta use the technology to your advantage. You know what I mean? He'll end them at midnight. Them in the middle of the night. If they wake up, they talk crazy to you, then that's a red flag. I mean, you got to. It's no different. This stuff's been going on for years. It's just people act like social media all of a sudden became this demon. People used to talk to you on the phone, and you find out the person's voice wasn't the person you was talking to. They was playing with somebody else. You was talking to this dude, and it was his buddy because he was shy. I mean, it's not no different. It's literally, it's not gonna stop. I mean, after social media, maybe it's artificial until you might be talking to a robot. You ain't talking to the dude. He got his robot sitting there talking to you in 20 years from now. I mean, it's gonna always be an aspect of it. That's a per people aspect of people of nature. It's not something that got anything to do with DMs or inboxes or anything. People are gonna lie. It's just it's your responsibility to do your due diligence to find out what you're supposed to find out with people. Problem is people are love starved and attention starved, and they want to hurry up and meet somebody, fall in love, and be on the beach walking with them and making everybody jealous instead of taking their time to get to know you.
Yes.
Take your time.
Yes.
page,
Yes.
on the right track, on the up and up, and in the right frame of mind. Not saying that all men are bad. Don't get me wrong.
And I mean, at this point, this is a good point to wrap it up too.
Mhm.
So before you get into trying to meet somebody online, social media, whatever, at the grocery store, whatever is your preference, you know, take some time to make sure you're loving you first.
Yes.
Right.
Love yourself first. Don't jump from one relationship to the next. Take your time.
And breathe between them relationships. That's another thing. Quit doing this. All you fine sisters is always the fine ones. Everybody that you dated, everybody that didn't work out is not a narcissist. Y'all gotta quit using that. Everybody's not a narcissist. And if you dated 3 narcissists in a row, that's your fault. You should have put some red flags up. What the hell is red flags? If I date 3 crackheads, on the third one, I should know that this chick's crackhead. This shit keep coming up missing, or she keeps sticking out in the corner and shit. It's funny when she come back up. So it's like, this is crazy to say. All these fine chicks, every time they get brother, he was a narcissist. Yeah, you gotta watch a narcissist. Like, come on, man. Everybody ain't a narcissist, dude. Just play. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Congratulations, you played yourself. And on that note,
Oh, wow.
Wait, read the comments. Do we get more comments at the bottom?
So we gonna wrap it up. That was good
All right, so that was
conversation.
good talk. Good talk. We see y'all. Have a good one.
have a good one.
Bye, y'all. With the cast.